Which Week 7 NFL games should you bet before it's too late? Welcome, football fans, gridiron gamblers, and degenerates. It's Mitch here with your early best bets versus the spread for Week 7 of the 2025 NFL season. Week 6 was a little inconsistent. On the channel, our picks were pretty mid. I'm not going to lie. Not good, not bad. About 500. It happens. A lot of upsets in prime time last week. This week, we got some really compelling matchups, and I want to give you my thoughts on the lines that stand out early in the week. If that sounds good, don't forget to spike the like button and subscribe to Money Mitch for all of my best bets each and every week. Let's get to it. Get in the comments and let me know your opinion. Do you agree with my picks? Do you disagree with my picks? And which line stands out to you? What do you think you're going to bet in Week 7? Okay, let's kick it off with Thursday Night Football, as I always like to begin with a look at Thursday night. So the Pittsburgh Steelers are on the road at the Cincinnati Bengals, laying 5.5, possibly even 6. As soon as I saw this number, as soon as I saw this matchup, I like the Bengals. It's a gut thing for me. I like the Bengals. Now, I do recall the Pittsburgh Steelers losing a Thursday Night Football game to Jameis Winston and the Browns last year. That was a pretty entertaining snow game. Remember Jameis Winston with the press conference or the pregame speech? Iconic stuff. But this game has a familiar feel, or a consistent feel from that game. It's probably a divisional foe that's not as good as the Steelers, or the Steelers are in a game where they're expected to win, but I don't think they're going to. Or I think it's going to be really close. Now, there's football reasons behind this. First, I think the Bengals found something with Flacco last week in that second half. I just like the way that Joe Flacco was processing the Packers' defense, distributing the football, playing from the pocket, and now he has another half a week to prepare and understand the offense and understand what worked last week and carry that over into this week. If you're the Steelers looking at it from the vantage point of, yes, they understand Flacco extremely well, probably better than any quarterback in the NFL, right? They played Flacco how many times between his days in the Baltimore with the Ravens and Cleveland, of course. So, yeah, they understand what Flacco likes, but they might not totally understand how Flacco fits within this Bengals attack. And I do think that Flacco is going to air it out. He's always a dangerous underdog because he's willing to throw the ball downfield. He's willing to throw risky throws. He's willing to put the ball into tight windows. And with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, you can do that because those guys are going to win those battles more often than not. And I did feel like the Bengals' offensive line against the Packers' pass rush, even on the road, actually survived. They didn't look too terrible, in my opinion. So Flacco's going to get rid of the ball. He's going to keep this offense on schedule. And maybe, just maybe, there's a little bit more belief within the Bengals that Flacco can get them a win or can keep them competitive. Unlike Jake Browning, who is literally just throwing the ball to the other team and playing like the worst quarterback in the NFL. So I do like the trajectory of the Bengals offense. And I'm still a little unsure about the Steelers defense. They haven't really played a legitimate opponent offensively since, I don't know, maybe the Patriots game. And the only reason the Patriots didn't put up 30 in that game is because of the numerous turnovers they had, especially in the red zone. So I'm intrigued to watch this Steeler defense. Have they truly gotten better against the run? Have they truly gotten better against the pass? Those are questions I need answered. Now, the Steelers do have a very good pass rush. They do have a little bit of a healthier secondary. We saw that last week. And their pass rush was a handful for Cleveland. They couldn't block them. If the Steelers want to win this game, that's going to have to be the same case against Cincinnati. Because I do believe the Bengals can win their matchups on the outside. And I do believe that Flacco, if he gets even a hint of time, will be able to move the ball on this defense. So I like the 5.5. The Bengals defense has actually kind of played admirably. I'm not saying they're good by any means, but I'm also not sure the Steelers' offense is very good. They actually played probably their best game, I have to give them credit, against Cleveland. And it's 2 consecutive performances against the Vikings and against Cleveland where they were able to have some balance, run and pass, a little bit of Rodgers movement, a little bit of Rodgers magic, and some good screen game based on the tight end personnel. And that's certainly a matchup that you would think the Steelers would look to take advantage of. That's one of the weaknesses of the Bengals is defending tight ends. We even saw that last week, Tucker Kraft. So maybe the over could be the play here. 43.5. If we have questions about both defenses and both offenses are starting to get a little bit going, could the over be the play? That's another question. But I do think this game's going to be close. I think the Bengals have been hanging in there defensively. Obviously, check the injury report for what's going on with Trey Hendrickson. But I don't know. Gut feel here. Joe Flacco with the Bengals, primetime spot. It's just like Jameis in Cleveland last year. It just has the exact same feel to me. The exact same vibes. I don't usually love the Steelers as a big favorite. Now, maybe Rodgers has settled down that Mike Tomlin stuff, where they're not as good as a favorite, they're better as a dog, but I don't know. Something about this game feels like it's going to go down to the wire, and Joe Flacco is going to come out slinging the rock. I'm just going to throw that out there. I'm still not sold that the Steelers are this, confirmed top dog of the AFC. I really have not seen enough evidence for that to be the case. They've mostly been beating bad teams. So I'd take the 5.5 if it were me. We could maybe even get a 6, but I'd probably take the 5.5 on Thursday night. And like I said, that over is kind of interesting to me. You guys let me know in the comments what you think of Thursday night football. Let's move to Sunday. The Carolina Panthers are -2, maybe 1.5 at the New York Jets. The Carolina Panthers are now 3-3. Now, the scary part about this game is that the Panthers are on the road. Because, I don't know if you've noticed, but the Panthers are good at home and bad on the road. They're 3-0 at home. They're 0-3 on the road. The Jets, though, are bad anywhere you play. Home, away, London, it really doesn't matter. The Carolina Panthers seem to have something really cooking offensively with their ground attack. The New York Jets, meanwhile, can really only run the ball and probably have the worst offense cooking in the NFL. Carolina's defense has actually been an underrated storyline. Now, they did struggle against Dak Prescott and George Pickens, but is Justin Fields going to be able to drop back and throw the ball outside the numbers with Garrett Wilson banged up and probable not to play? I don't think so. Justin Fields is playing like the worst quarterback in football. And yes, they do have a good rushing attack. But did you see what the Panthers did to Javonte Williams? The previous Javonte Williams, who was literally ramping up rushing yards every single game against any opponent. So very impressive Panthers rushing offense, rushing defense. Big part of that is Derek Brown. Big part of that is their big, hulking offensive line. They're big on the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. So I am almost certain that the Panthers have the formula to beat the Jets. They can run the ball on the road, and they can stop the run of Justin Fields and make Justin Fields drop back and pass. Especially without Garrett Wilson, that's a great formula of success. Bryce Young is playing fine. They might get back Jalen Coker this week, which would be the number 2 receiver to Tetairoa McMillan. McMillan continues to look very smooth, very good. And I just feel like the Panthers have great vibes, great energy. And I feel like the Jets are a little lost. They're questioning their coach. Aaron Glenn, consistently a jabroni. I told you that from the start. I think the Jets are really a terrible football team. So I'm going to go with the Panthers here early in the week. I like Carolina laying under a field goal, especially with the Jets traveling back from London without a bye to rest and reset. The Panthers are riding high. I'll take Carolina to run the ball and stop the run against the Jets. -2. Next. We're back, baby. Every single week, we lay the Patriots, and we are right. Yes, sir. The New England Patriots on the channel, we are now, 4-1 with the Patriots betting their games. The only loss, of course, we've said it once, we'll say it again, the Pittsburgh Steelers in a game that they definitely should have won. So we're basically undefeated picking Patriots games this year. I don't exactly love betting against the coaching bump, the new coach bump that the Tennessee Titans are about to have. Callahan's out the door, same as his father, the offensive line coach, which might be an even bigger deal. And the morale is at an all-time low for the Tennessee Titans. So can McCoy and this staff that's left with the Titans somehow get a surge of energy with Mike Vrabel returning to town to Tennessee? I don't think so. I think the Patriots are still underrated. It's crazy, I know. They're still underrated. 2 weeks ago, they said no way they could hang with the Bills. They not only were there in the game, but they won the game in Buffalo on prime time. Hadn't been done in 14 straight games in Buffalo. Then a week later, people said, oh, the Saints, take the Saints with the 3.5. Saints are frisky, which they are. We'll talk about the Saints. And the Patriots are going to have a letdown spot. No, no, no. The Patriots are too good for a letdown spot. Drake May is too good. Playing like a top 3, top 5 quarterback in football. This Patriots team is good. And they're playing the worst team in the league. And it's a revenge spot for Mike Vrabel from a personal perspective. And if there is a list of coaches where you want to back his roster and his team, when he is in a revenge spot, when he has personal deep down hatred and anger, it's Mike Vrabel. Because Mike Vrabel is that type of coach. He is a motivator. And his players play hard for Mike Vrabel. They'll run through a wall for Mike Vrabel. So while this looks like a spot where, again, on the road, you're playing the Titans, it should be an easy win. Who really cares? It's a Patriots team trying to prove a point. It's a Patriots team with the fuel of backing their coach. And this is a spot where they can go out and make a statement with a dominant victory in all phases. And I think that's what they do. Cam Ward, he's struggling with a lack of protection, with a lack of consistent receivers. The Patriots won't allow the Titans to run the ball. Nobody's been able to run the ball on the Patriots this year. Like, literally no one. Look at their schedule. Nobody has ran the ball on the Patriots. I don't even know if they've allowed like a 50-yard rusher this year yet. Like, they have been that good against the run. And then they're going to be able to get after this offensive line. Especially no O-line coach now. What's the feel in that room in Tennessee? Right? The Patriots will be able to come with some exotic pressure looks. Milton Williams and Barmore continue to dominate in the interior. And if Gonzo blanks Calvin Ridley, I don't think the Titans have much else to throw the ball to. So it's going to be a real struggle for the Titans on offense. On the other side of the ball, it's Drake May, man. This guy is incredible. He's the best deep ball passer in the league right now. I think he's first in completion percentage. He's playing like an MVP. He's had 5 consecutive 110-plus passer rating games. He's just sensational. He really is. He's elevating everyone around him. Tennessee doesn't have a pass rush. I don't see how they affect Drake May in this game. I think the Patriots can throw the ball all over Tennessee. And Tennessee's run defense hasn't been particularly good either. So I think the Patriots win this game comfortably by at least 10 points. So I think the Patriots win and cover. I think they're a great teaser leg as well this week. So give me the Patriots in a Mike Vrabel revenge spot. Next, the New Orleans Saints, the Chicago Bears. I like the Saints plus 5.5. We just talked about how frisky the Saints are. Total's actually 46.5. I kind of like the over there too, I'm not going to lie. But I like the Saints here, and we're focusing on spreads in this video. I think the Saints are actually better than a lot of people think. And I've kind of thought that for the last couple of weeks. But the Patriots game definitely confirmed it to me because I know the Patriots are better than people think. And the Saints, I mean, Spencer Rattler is really the reason. I think Spencer Rattler may have played the best against the Patriots of any quarterback this season. He was very efficient. He was just able to get the ball out and consistently accurate. He made some plays running the ball. He made some plays buying time. Chris Olave, healthy, looks really good. And maybe he's even trying to get himself traded right now. So his stock, he's trying to get that stock raised. The offensive line is solid. Their run game is solid, although they did nothing against New England. This is a spot against Chicago. The Saints have been successful running the ball. And Chicago is one of the worst run defenses in football. I think entering the Commanders game, they were 32nd in rush yards per attempt allowed. So if the Saints can run the ball, the Bears don't have a great pass rush. I do think the Bears defense looked better against the Commanders. They looked better, especially in the back end of their defense. Their coverages looked more sound. I felt like they played a little bit more aggressive. I definitely like some of the things Dennis Allen was bringing, and this is a bit of a Dennis Allen revenge game, I guess. But I really like how Kellen Moore is cooking up for the Saints right now. I like the balanced approach. I like their screen game. I like their quick passing game. They have the speed to threaten vertical with Olave and Shaheed. It's a lot to handle. Taysom Hill in the red zone. Jawan Johnson is talented. Alvin Kamara out of the backfield. They stress you out in all levels of the game from both a skill position level and a schematical level. Like, I'm impressed by their offense. And I think that will travel to Chicago. I think they'll be able to run the ball and have some balance. And defensively, the Saints can stop the run. And they are a very sound zone team. They gave up some big plays to the Patriots, but I felt like that was all Drake May. And here's the thing. Caleb Williams, he's inconsistent, especially in terms of his accuracy. And he's also very poor at throwing the ball deep. So, if the Saints have a weakness, it's probably the speed and the ability to track deep down the field. That probably won't be taken advantage of by Caleb, especially outdoors in Chicago. I don't see it. So Caleb's going to have to be patient and crisp and accurate, and that's something that he is not like Drake May. So, and the Saints are solid against the run. I think I said that already, but I want to make that a statement. The Saints are solid against the run. So, I don't think the Bears are going to be able to run the ball all over the Saints like they did against Washington. I think New Orleans plus 5.5 is a good bet. I think this is a field goal game, a 4-point game. I think the Saints could even pull the upset. I wouldn't be shocked. I really like 5.5 with the Saints. And I think we're only getting 5.5 because they beat the Commanders. But I think they matched up better with the Commanders. And we liked Chicago last week. It honestly should have been a best bet. I don't know what I was thinking. But I like the Saints this week. Next, I like the Colts plus 1.5. I think they're the better team. I think the Chargers are overrated right now. They have too many holes. Their run defense is poor. Their pass rush is not great. Their pass blocking unit, their offensive line is not very good. Their receivers are good. Their quarterback's really good. Their coaching is solid. Their run game is pretty good. But I think the Colts have decisive advantages at the line of scrimmage on both sides. I think the Colts can slow the run game down of the Chargers because of Buckner and Grover Stewart in the middle. I feel like big game Lou Anarumo will have some exotic pressures for Justin Herbert to get after him and get some pressure on him, cause some confusion for this offensive line. The Colts certainly have some injuries in the secondary. that might hurt them in this matchup because Herbert can really, really, really sling it. And this receiving core is talented. Ladd McConkey had a breakout game last week. Keenan Allen, Quentin Johnson could be back. They found a little bit of a tight end there last game. But I think if the Colts can get pressure and the Colts can stop the run well enough, that's going to put them in positions to get some stops, right? And on the other side, I think it's going to be really difficult for the Chargers to get stops and I think the Colts will hold the time of possession. I think that Jonathan Taylor will be able to run the ball, and I think they're going to be able to physically manhandle the Chargers front on defense. And that's how you have to attack the Chargers, just as the Commanders did. Run the ball down their throat and force them to get out of their two safety coverages and shells and force them to stack the box and force them to play the run. And that's going to open up things for Daniel Jones and his weaponry, which we already seen, has been pretty successful here. And Daniel Jones is equipped with being smart, processing the defense, and just getting the ball out quick and dinking and dunking his way down the field. That's kind of what you need to do against the Chargers. They don't give up big plays down the field. So I really like the matchup for the Colts from a football perspective. I would take the Colts on the money line in this game. I think the Chargers, they're able to beat a flawed team like Miami, but Miami nearly won that game. The Colts are a different animal. The Colts are way better at the line of scrimmage. The Colts are way better in terms of their offense with their balance. I just feel like this is, and it's in a dome, so it's not really too unfamiliar for the Colts. I like Indy here. I think they're the better team. Maybe a healthy Chargers wins this game, but they're not healthy, especially on the offensive line. Washington -2 at Dallas. This is going to be a very high-scoring game. Washington is coming off a short week and a loss. I like Dallas in this matchup from the standpoint of CeeDee Lamb is returning. They're coming off a loss. I think Dallas is going to be able to move the ball at will in this game. I think Dak, the way he's playing, CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens against man coverage is just like Thanksgiving. I mean, eat it up. Zeke. The offensive line really doesn't have to fear anybody on this Washington pass rush. I felt like there was so many ways Chicago moved the ball, and Caleb didn't even play well in that game, to be honest. Like, they moved the ball, running the ball, screen the ball, swing passes, deep passes, crossing routes. Like, it was already on display. I think Dak is going to have a field day out there. It's at home. Dallas actually beat the Commanders last year in Washington without Dak Prescott. Keep that in mind. Like, Dallas is a tough matchup for Washington. Dallas's defense is pretty terrible. There's no doubting that. But Carolina did run the ball the week previously, for 200 on Miami, and then they ran the ball for 180 on Dallas. Can Dallas just be a little bit better in that regard? Because it feels like Washington just has very little explosive passes right now. Terry McLaurin could be back, but everything that they get down the field right now is schemed up by Cliff Kingsbury, right? Like, they're pretty much a dink and dunk approach, a dink and dunk team. And we did see Eberflus do a decent job last year against Jaden Daniels when he was the coach of Chicago. So I kind of feel like Dallas' defense does suck, but maybe the home field environment does help. I don't know. Like, it's going to be a shootout. I kind of feel like Dallas is just the offense right now that I think is playing better. I think Dak is the quarterback that's playing better. I think their receiving core is much better. I think that they can run the ball on everyone except for Carolina. Washington has a weak run defense. I think foundationally, I'm going to take the home team getting points in a divisional matchup, a split last year. I'm going to take the better offense. I'm going to take the team with a little bit longer rest. Like, I like Dallas here. I would especially like Dallas in a teaser, I think. I think this is certainly a close game. And Dallas also has the deadly kicker, too. Keep that in mind in a close game. So, I like Dallas. Let me know what you guys think on that one. The Atlanta Falcons and the San Francisco 49ers. I wanted to include this, not because it's necessarily a best bet, but because it's an interesting number, and it's also on Sunday Night Football, and the Niners have so many injuries, and Atlanta's coming off a kind of a statement win. So, this is the Atlanta Falcons for you. They beat a team like Buffalo at home on prime time. It just makes sense they're going to lose. the next week. Like, it's just the Atlanta Falcons. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what they are. Jake Matthews also leaving the game last week is a pretty big, significant injury for their offense. We'll have to see if they're healthier at their receiver position, which it didn't seem to miss against Buffalo, but, you know, that doesn't help that Darnell Mooney and Ray McLeod aren't playing. The Niners defense is really my problem with handicapping this game, because without Fred Warner and Nick Bosa, they're a bottom tier defense in the league, and Atlanta right now statistically is the best defense in the league. Crazy, right? The Niners, though, could be getting back reinforcements offensively, including George Kittle. I'm almost certain he'll be playing. And then possibly Brock Purdy and Ricky Pearsall, which would totally change the handicap of this game. I kind of think this will be the toughest test for the Falcons from a defensive standpoint that they've seen all year. A healthy Niners team is one of the best offenses in football. And their passing game right now is one of the best in football. They're averaging over 300 yards a game no matter who the quarterback is. Like, both of their quarterbacks, Mac Jones and Ricky Pearsall, Mac Jones and Brock Purdy are both in the top 3 or 4 in yards per game passing the ball. Of course, you've got to deal with McCaffrey, but they haven't even had their receiving core. So imagine what that would do. Plus, the Niners are coming off a loss. I do kind of feel like this is a spot for San Francisco. It's Sunday Night Football. Everyone's going to be on the Falcons. Everyone's going to, you know, want the points with the Falcons, or even by the time this game, it's probably going to be like even, I would assume, or like -1 maybe. Everyone is going to be on the Falcons. Like, everyone. This just feels like a spot where, yeah, the Niners are beat up on defense. Maybe they find a way to scrap together a game plan to confuse Michael Penix. I've seen it before. I wouldn't be surprised, right? So, plus Robert Saleh, you know, he knows this defensive coordinator really well. They work together with the Jets. Kyle knows Raheem Morris extremely well. It'll be an interesting matchup, but I kind of just feel like this is a spot where everyone wants the Falcons. Everyone's going to bet on the Falcons. It's in San Francisco, Sunday night prime time. Maybe some returning Niners sparks this lineup and they win the game like by a field goal or something. That's just kind of my gut feel. I want to throw that out there because I know this spread is really popping off the page due to the Niners injuries and the way that people are looking at the team right now. But I'm not completely sold that the Falcons are for real. Like, I think they're a solid team, definitely. And they're statistically dominant. But I need to see more. And then the final game that I want to break down is on Monday night, Tampa Bay and Detroit. Again, another injury-riddled game. I kind of like Tampa getting 4.5 against any team in the league. I think you could make an argument that healthy Tampa Bay might be the best team in football right now. They might have the best quarterback playing in football right now, and getting 4.5 with the best quarterback in the league is not a bad idea. Detroit's defense, without their cornerback personnel, looks like a below average is being kind, bottom 10, bottom 5 defense. Tampa could be getting back Mike Evans. I'm not sure on the status of Chris Godwin. Emeka Ibuka could be out though, but I like what I see from Tez Johnson, Sterling Shepard, Cade Otton. Crazy as it seems, with all their guys missing, they still have weapons. Rashad White's playing well, Sean Tucker's playing well, their O-line's playing extremely well, and Baker is just an absolute dog, and he's not going to go down without a fight. At a fundamental level, I also like the Bucs' defensive scheme against Detroit. They're very good against the run, very hard to run the ball on. Their front seven is healthy, and they blitz a lot, and they're very creative with their blitzes, which Jared Goff struggles with. We saw that against Spagnuolo in Kansas City, right? So I feel like at a fundamental level, the Bucs are a solid matchup for Detroit. If the Bucs were fully healthy, I would be all the way in on Tampa Bay in this game because I just don't think Detroit, the way that they play, would be able to stop Tampa, and I don't think that Tampa would really have all that many issues with containing Detroit. It's really difficult to stop Detroit, but containing Detroit is a different story and getting some turnovers and some sacks. I like Tampa with the points right now. I need to see who's healthy at cornerback because their cornerbacks fundamentally change how Todd Bowles goes about his game plan. Their defense, when healthy, their back end is really talented. But last week against the Niners, they weren't healthy, and that's where the Niners were able to have some success throwing the ball. But Tampa continues to dominate run defense-wise, continues to be very creative schematically in their blitzing packages. And Baker just consistently is getting it done and hanging in games. So 4.5 is just too many points with the status of both teams injury-wise. So I would take Tampa Bay with the points on Monday night. Thank you guys for watching, man. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, Gronk spike the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. This is the first Best Bets video of Week 7. Thanks for watching. It's Mitch. Let's make some money, baby. Peace.